Good morning. Today I'm jumping in and we are going to be coloring the cardinal from Toile Christmas. I had created this card the other day using this stamp set and coloring in the cardinal. So I figured I'd do a quick video to show you exactly what I did to color this pretty little bird. So I'm just going to start out with a tiny little piece of paper and one of my Stampin' spot, and this is the Merry Merlot, and we're just going to ink up this little guy, making sure we have ink all over him. Now this is a nice rich reddish color. I didn't want to use black. I just want that nice rich red color. And we're just going to stamp him on here. And there he is. Let me just see if I can't bring the screen a little closer. There we go. That looks better. And we are going to start coloring him. So I'm going to grab a Copic in gray. This is actually toner gray number 6. And then for my blends, I'm going to use dark and light cherry cobbler and dark and light real red. So to start, all the darkest colors on this stamp that I stamped are going to be the spots that are furthest back on his body. His face is actually on a cardinal. He does have the black around his face, but I want to enhance that and make it even darker. So I'm just going to quickly go around his beak and add a nice layer of dark toner gray, just to give it a little bit of darkness. Sorry about my chair. And then down in here, this is his tail feathers, and they are, even though there's shadow on his underside, this is even pushed further back where the light would be hitting it less. So we're going to darken that up too. Give it a little bit more contrast so it looks like it's actually sitting back further on the bird. So now I'm going to grab my dark cherry cobbler, and as everybody knows, if you see me coloring before, I always use the nib part of the blend. I only use the brush part when I'm going to do a quick wash because it tends to bleed a little bit more than the nib. So now I'm going to go in with the dark cherry cobbler and I am going to go over what I just colored in gray, and I'm just going to extend that line a little bit so you have some color variation. I want to make sure I don't hit his beak, but we're going to extend that line out, coloring over top of the gray I just did. And then we're going to also head down here to underneath his tail, on his tail feathers. And again, we're just going to extend that out. And we're going to hit it up over here. Okay. So let me just see. I like to have a piece of scrap so I can see my different colors. This is the light cherry cobbler, and that is the dark real red. So I'm going to stick with the cherry cobbler right now. So now I'm going to take, still using the dark cherry cobbler, I'm going to go over the darkest spots again. Not where there's gray, but where there is darkness that was created when I stamped. Now it will look different. I don't know if you can tell, but there is a difference you can see right here in the color. Compared to here. Just a very, very slight variation. Excuse me. But we want these spots just to be a little bit darker, because this is underneath the other feathers. Right here. And you just follow the stamp where all the colors stamped. We can put a quick little line on his belly. And I'm just wiggling a little bit. Oh, went out. Okay. So now we're going to grab our light cherry cobbler, and we're just going to go back and extend the lines that we just had. Just going to hit that top of his head, outline it just a little bit, adding a little bit of color here. Extend this out a little bit. On his face, we're just going to extend that line. And you can just flick it. Doesn't have to be straight lines. It can vary because it's his feathers. And then we're going to do the same thing at his belly. We're just going to flick this up, extending that line, because we put that dark cherry cobbler. Get this colored in down here. And again around his wing. And then we can flick this. And again, extend his tail. And we can even come up on his tail a little bit. Just like that. Then we're going to grab the dark real red, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to extend this line. Going over what you've colored just a little bit, but you want to leave some whiteness. And again on his belly, we're going to extend these lines, come up from his belly, and you can follow the lines that were stamped when you stamped the image. Just extend it out a little bit. Same thing here. Just want to give him some lines for these feathers. And on his tail. Okay. So now we have all our darkness on our little guy. We're going to grab our light real red using the brush, and we're going to quickly give it a good wash. You don't want to go over the color that you've already done that much. You can go over a little so it blends, but you want to just give it a quick wash. Because what happens when you put lighter colors on your darker colors, the alcohol that's in the marker is going to take away some of the color that you've already put down. That's why I'm saying to give it a quick wash. Okay, so now your little guy is all colored in. I like to go back with my darkest of colors and just go over what I already did in the darkness. Like I said, when you use a lighter color, it washes the darkness away a little bit because of the alcohol. So I like to just come back in and add a little bit more to the shadows, just to give them a little bit of definition. And then I also sometimes like to come in with an blue indigo prism colored pencil and even darken this a little bit more, very lightly adding color, adding a line down his wing, going around his face. And I'm not pressing it very hard. I'm just very lightly adding a little darkness. So I just want it to be defined a little bit. For his eye, I grabbed a Stampin' Right marker in the basic black, and trying not to hit the little white spot, I'm just going to put a few dots of black. And it's not really that noticeable, but it does enhance his eye a little bit. And then with my gel pen, I'm just going to dot that little dot. And then I'm going to grab a white, Chinese white drawing pencil. And I'm just going to very lightly go over the spots that'll be closest to the light, just to give it a little bit of, if you have dark colors, in order for you to see the lighter colors and to define the black colors, you have to add lighter colors. So just by adding a little bit of white pencil, it gives you just a little bit more dimension in the bird. He doesn't look like he's so flat on the piece of paper. And then for his beak, let's see, we'll grab the dark Calypso Coral, and we're just going to outline his beak. Just like that. And let's see. Just want to see what color I want to use. Let's grab I think we'll use this one. We're just going to go back in with a nice yellow. And then we're going to grab the light Calypso Coral. And I'm just going to extend this darkness out a little bit. Just like that. Grab my pencil. I'm going to add a little whiteness or light so his beak doesn't look like it's so flat. And there you go. That is how you color the cardinal. And you can use this on actually any image that you want to color and add shadows to. I used the ornamental envelopes and stamped out the ornaments. And if you can see on this one, I actually added shadow to the outside. And then I whitened the inside. And then I don't know if you can tell, but I did put some Wink of Stella. So you can see that it doesn't look as flat as this ornament right here. It just has a little bit more dimension to it. And that's all there is to it. So I hope you come back next week. I'm not sure if I'll be doing a card or another coloring video, but I sure would love you to join me. Have a great day and a better weekend. Bye-bye.